Robert, thoughts on the game today?
First part of the game is okay, but then Brighton takes over the first half and dictated it, and we had problem with the press to reach them basically. So defend quite well though, but we're not really happy with the first half. Good talk in half time and much better second half. I think we are better in the second half, both when we press them but also in possession. Yeah.
Are you pleased with the point though?
No, we had 1-0. We were actually dictating the game at that point. We were going for 2-0. They don't really push us down before that happened, so no, I'm quite disappointed with that. But when I come home tonight and I see Brighton away and what they had in the first half, I'm probably going to say something else. But right now, no, I really wanted to win, and I think we had the momentum when we had 1-0 and pushed for it.
With that spell that you went through, which was pretty tough with the amount of defeats that you had, but the last 4 games now unbeaten, you must be pleased with that, how it's turned around. Yeah,
I think it shows some really good character of the group and what we can do, and I think those games that come in a cluster where we lost big, it is tough, but it's also something we learn from, and I think for me as a leader and for the players to learn to come back and compete, winning games, defending much better the last 4 games, and the goal today is a really nice goal as well. So I think we still play some really good football part of the times, especially in the second half, but we need to be a little bit more sharp in some situations.
It did seem to be a very different second half attacking wise because you failed to have a shot on target in the first half.
Yeah, I think the first half was a little bit of a struggle because we didn't have the ball. So basically when they had the build-up all the time or pushed us down, we just gave the ball back again, so we were not sharp in the transitions either. So it came down to the quality of us and actually how Brighton was quite good as well. It's really hard to create chances when you don't have the ball. Second half we have the ball much more on their half and we have more patience and everything. And there's a few really good situations where we come around them and do the cutbacks and crosses. Then we still can improve in the crosses and the movement in the box, but the goal is beautiful. And we had a really good chance after that as well with Jessica Nats from Haley there as well. So unlucky that we didn't score 2-0.
Eleanor Heaps, another great game for her. Talk about her because she seemed to have come in and done very well for you.
Yeah, I mean, she had played 4 games now and no losses, 2 clean sheets, only 2 goals conceded. I think she doesn't do like a lot of big saves, but she acts in a very good way, so she doesn't need to do it. And she's calm on the ball with her feet as well, so she looks extremely mature when she plays, even if she's so young. And I think the players trust her as well, which is really nice to see. And she has a bright future.
Lastly for me, the winter break. I know you spoke about this in the pre-match press conference, but are you a fan of the winter break, and has it come at the right time for you?
I always enjoy spending time with my family. Christmas is a really big holiday in Sweden and everything, so I'm a big fan of that, but I'm also enjoy being a coach, so I don't want to be too much away from the games, right? So I'm going to have a catch-up break and I'm going to be with my family, but I'm ready to go quite soon again.
Thank you.
Robert, I just want to ask about Molly Bartlett. You kind of said past few months that Spurs can defend, and she's kind of been a massive part of that, and today, first half particularly, she cleared several chances and looked incredibly composed. Just how impressed have you been with her and like kind of that consistency? Does that make it easier to kind of build a team around?
Yeah, I think she showed it when I came already last pre-season. That's why she's the vice captain, because she's so good at defending. And I mean, she's not the biggest centre back, but she defends with everything she can and with power, and she's so determined in that way. So I think she's a role model for other players, and I think actually the players, they need to follow her, because you need to defend that way in this league because the players are so strong, they are so good. And then she gets the players around her to act that way as well. So I think Eleanor is really pleased to have her in front of her because she blocks a few shots there as well. But then she's also very good on the ball, so she basically play out every time and doesn't lose the ball. So she's obviously one of the best players we have and one of the best players in this league. So I'm very pleased with her.
And of course, quite an unfortunate situation today where the match was delayed by 15 minutes or so. When you had a chance to speak to the players, what did you kind of say to them to kind of, obviously that was literally just after they scored, what did you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit strange situations there because it was a small injury before that, and then the ref dropped the ball, and it was a little bit like, we were not really used to that situation that you drop a ball in front of the penalty box. And then they scored, and then it was the break. But we were quite good in how we were acting before that goal, because we were dictating the game, and everybody was kind of, okay, we need to bounce back and see what we can do. And then the break became longer, but I feel like when we came back, it was an open game. It was back and forth. We had a few chances, they had a few chances. So in one way, it's good because we want to win, but in another way, it was perhaps a little bit too risky because they got a few really good transitions as well. But in the end, I think a draw is probably, for both teams what we could expect today.
Just finally, England, her 5th WSL goal of the season today, another great finish. Just kind of what did you make of her performance and kind of how she's continuing to improve each week?
Yeah, I think she's grown into the role, and I've grown into learning how she is as a player as well. So when she's a linked player as a 9 and in the box as well, she's one of the best players in this league in that way. So when we also have the pace on the sides and the way we play in the second half, then she's really good for us. So we need to make sure the way we play, the players around her act in a different way and learn how she is, because she's a 9 of a really high class when she entered the box like that. So, and I'm very happy for her because she worked so hard. She's been on the bench for a while as well, and taking that with a really good character and just work everything for the team. So for me to see her as a person as well, I'm really happy for her sake because she's a fully professional.
Perfect, thank you.
Robert, firstly, congratulations on the point. It was a hard-fought game, I think, at points. You said that you're getting better, your defence is getting much stronger. How does that change the confidence of the team moving forwards for the next game following the winter break?
I think we want to be better in a high press, and if we defend the way we do in those situations, we can go even higher in the press because we also know that we can defend 1 against 1. There were a few games where we felt that we lost those duels, and Chelsea scored or Man United scored, and then it's really hard to be brave and step up. So I think this can help us to be even sharper in the high press. But also I think now we can also start working a little bit more on the transitions, because we win the ball quite many times in the good areas and good spaces, but we don't really nail that pass to the free space and go in behind them, for example. So it's going to give us something more with the transitions as well. So hopefully we can bring this to the Christmas break, and then when we come back we can use this for the next step in the journey we're doing.
And do you think the Christmas break is going to hamper that confidence at all, or do you think your players will be able to carry it through the time off and still come back as strong?
Yeah, I think we had it was tough, those games when we lost big numbers. Everybody could feel like it's not easy to play football, but to come back from that and do these last 4 games without a loss and being in around 6-7 place in the table is still actually quite good first part of the season now when we summarize it. So I think you can go to the break and enjoy where we are, make sure we reload, but we want to push higher now. So now is the time to make sure we come back with good energy and try to push for the high positions.
And when you do come back after the winter break, what is it that you'll be looking to change in the squad as you attack the next fixture?
I mean, obviously we have a few key positions where we want to find players that can compete. But for me to speak about that now, I will speak about it when those players have signed. And then it's always those players who doesn't get the minutes. If they don't want to stay and compete and they want to go or someone else want to buy them, then of course we might need to find a replacement in that position and so on. But it's not going to be like any dramatically. It's going to be a few positions. But the main thing is I think the players we have, and they like Haley, that they don't get injured again. We need to make sure we are really sharp in how we load the players, so we can make sure that, because they are the players that are going to take us to the next level. Now we can use Maite for 55-60 minutes today. I want to use her for 90 minutes and dictate the game with her. So we already have a few players that we're going to build this team around. So we're just going to come back with a good reflection of the Christmas break and be sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, obviously, you scored first and around the 75th minute with England. How did the second goal change the game for you, and how you approached the last section?
Because of the break and the goal, it affects your momentum quite much, because we had a momentum. I think I'm going to look back at the game, but it felt like after our goal we were creating more chances and they didn't really get the ball from us. So coming back from that long period of time and they scored a goal is always a hard point to dictate the game, and I think we tried, but then we lost a few situations and then they created a chance, and then you also realize, okay, we might lose the game now if we're not really sharp. So then you need to slow down a little bit with the high press as well. So it was really hard how to act, but I think we went for it, but they went for it, and then it was a draw.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Cheers.